The effect of lameness on animal wellness and animal performance is costly and wide-reaching. Whether you're a large-scale livestock operator or a family pet owner, the sight of an animal in pain is distressing and must be addressed. To shed new light on this important issue, Zinpro Corporation is proud to sponsor Experts Talk, the place where leading authorities on foot health and lameness prevention share their expertise. This episode of Experts Talk discusses the management of infectious foot diseases in dairy cattle and the effect of seasonality on disease prevalence. Our experts today are Dr. Daryl Kleinschmidt, research nutritionist with Zinpro Corporation, and Dr. Arturo Gomez, dairy veterinarian for Zinpro Corporation in Europe. Both are known for their expertise in ruminant animals and lameness management.
Well, what the recent study actually demonstrated was that there truly is an impact, a seasonal impact on infectious diseases. So, a great example, if you look in the case of wet, cold conditions. First of all, you have a scenario where you have muddy conditions that can actually accumulate on the feet, can actually soften the skin, cause some skin breakdown, to actually increase the risk of the infection occurring. You think about it, the skin is the first line of defense against an infection. The other thing we have to think about as well is what often happens during the winter months. Well, especially if you get into certain regions within the U.S., you have areas where you can't run a foot bath very effectively because it freezes. So first off, it freezes, it causes animals to slip. You can't keep it thawed, and the other thing you have to worry about as well is just actually mixing the solution itself also becomes very difficult.
In the northern hemisphere, winter makes a difference normally in like areas with high moisture and cold winters. Winter will be responsible for the highest prevalence of the disease. But when you travel around the world, actually what determines higher or lower prevalence of the disease or incidence of the disease is going to be that you have on the farm the conditions that will facilitate the disease to occur. If you have moisture, you have the bacterial component for sure, and infectious pressure, and also you have some kind of skin trauma, either chemical or physical, you will have the conditions that are needed for the disease. So for example, if we go to the southern states in the US or the desert in Egypt or Saudi Arabia or Palestine, you're going to have more cases in summer. And mostly because the cows concentrate around the water troughs and you have the perfect conditions.
Well, the perfect conditions, are really you gotta look at the conditions that the animals are actually housed in, or where they're at on a regular basis. So you have a condition that has high areas of manure slurry, along with the moisture. Those two conditions together actually can cause the skin to soften, and thereby increasing the risk of the whatever bacterial agent, whether it be foot rot or digital dermatitis or the ending lesion, to show up, because that first line of defense of the skin is compromised due to those conditions. Typically, when you think of the overall lameness manager, we think of the hoof trimmer. The hoof trimmer needs to be the primary person. But we really need to look at it as a team approach, because there's multiple workers on the farm who interact with the cows at different times during the day. So putting it on the shoulders of one person can be quite difficult, especially when you look at a case of a large dairy where they can't be anywhere at once. That's why we need an overall team approach in order to properly identify these animals.
Thank you for watching this episode of Experts Talk. Additional episodes are available at zinpro.com. Experts Talk, promoting foot health, preventing lameness.